Alice, welcome to my Women's Health series. Today, I'm going to be investigating how hormones can impact cognition. To start with, I'm going to talk to the public. Let's see what they have to say. Okay, how much do you think your hormones impact your cognition?
Probably a lot. Yeah, I'd imagine a lot.
I think hormones probably affect quite a lot of all of our, I can't say it in English.
Since you ask, I guess it has some noticeable effect on it.
Estado de ánimo, state of mind, let's say. So yes, I do believe it affects a lot.
If your hormones are out of kilter, you can't think straight. And you may well feel depressed and unable to cope. And that's a terrible way to go through life. You need to have your hormones in balance so that you can thoroughly enjoy and be brave and feel on top of your game constantly.
So the public had some quite interesting things to say. I'm now going to talk to Dr. Gillian Einstein, and yes, she is a distant cousin of Albert Einstein, said to look like him on a bad hair day. She is an expert in women's brain health, and her research has significantly advanced our understanding of how hormones like estrogen are important in the brain. She is a professor of psychology at the University of Toronto, the Wilfred and Joyce Postlands Chair in Women's Brain Health and Aging, and the lead of the Sex and Gender Hub for the Canadian Consortium on Neurodegeneration and Aging. Let's see what she has to say. So to start with, could you just tell me about sex hormones?
I would move away from calling them female and male sex hormones. So males make testosterone and females make testosterone as well. But the testosterone that females make is converted to 3 different types of estrogen. The one that we always think about and we call estrogen is technically something called 17-beta estradiol, whereas males make a lot of testosterone and they convert less of it into 17-beta estradiol, but they convert it into 17-beta estradiol too. So I don't think of these as male and female hormones. What I think both of these class of steroid hormones do for both males and females is actually they're growth factors. They make things grow. They make brain cells make more synaptic connections, more connections between neurons. And that's why estradiol, in my opinion, is so important in later life, as well as in earlier life. They help maintain synaptic connections in women's brains.
So what does estrogen or estradiol actually do in the brain?
Estrogens, and in particular the type of estrogen, 17-beta estradiol, actually it's secreted by the ovaries. It gets through what's called the blood-brain barrier. It gets into neurons and probably glial cells and the support cells as well. But it gets into them through the membrane of the cell, but it binds to something called a second messenger. And bound to that second messenger, it travels to the center of the cell where DNA is, and it activates DNA synthesis. So you can see how profound an effect it can have, because it leads to DNA synthesis, and that DNA synthesis then leads to the production of proteins that help make, well, they're the building blocks of cells. So in the brain, they're the building blocks of neurons, can lead to the synthesis of more neurotransmitter, which is the communicating element between neurons. It can lead to making more of the stuff that helps neurons connect with each other, making new, what are called synapses. So it's super powerful stuff.
So what's the relationship between estrogen and cognition then?
Yeah. So the first place you might think about cognition is in the connections between neurons. If it makes those connections stronger, or the loss of it makes those connections disconnect, then you could understand in parts of the brain that play a role in cognition. If the synapses are made stronger, the connections made stronger, or they're made weaker, that part of the brain is going to do its job better or worse. So parts of the brain like the hippocampus, which is really one of the places that's affected early in Alzheimer's disease, or prefrontal cortex, which sort of helps us plan ahead. The hippocampus helps us make new memories. In those regions in particular, there is a lot of estrogenic action. And that action from 17 beta estradiol can increase the connection between neurons and therefore make what those regions do better. So women in our cohort with early life estradiol loss, if it's not given back to them through hormone therapy, they have a harder time making new memories as well as planning ahead and doing the things that helps you plan ahead.
That was so interesting. It sounds like estrogen or estradiol is a really important hormone for the brain and for cognitive functions like memory. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll catch you next time.
Bring the funk.